welcome to Haven's Magical Hutch today, and we decided we're going to do something very different. Haven found for us a little Bluey Suncatcher set. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to do Bluey. This is who we're going to try to paint today for the Suncatcher. And so come on and join us as we have fun today on Haven's Magical Hutch. Okay, you guys, this is Bluey. This is from that Suncatcher kit, and what we're going to do is we're going to start with you can do one of two things. You can start with the bigger parts of Bluey or the smaller parts. So we're going to start with the smaller parts of Bluey. We're just going to get that done. And what we're going to do is, this is the light blue. So, Bluey has a lot of different shades of blue. But, we're going to do a really light blue here. And you don't need a lot. You just need a little tiny bit on there. And this is what we're going to color. His little eyebrows here and his hands. And feet. And then his stomach. We'll have to do a little bit more, a little bit with that. And then a little bit here with his nose. So we're just going to do a little light. We'll see how that works. Okay, so we do need a little bit more in there. Okay, so we're going to do just a tiny bit more here. And we're going to do the tummy right now because that is the biggest part of Bluey. We're just going to do that. And you can make Bluey's blue tummy as dark or as light as you want. It's totally up to you. And I'm going to kind of take some of this paint and put it in the lighter ones while we can decide what we're going to do. If we want to make his tummy, like super duper dark here, or if we would just want to do kind of more of the sky blue with him, or what we want to do with him here. So I'm just going to use the lighter blue and just a little bit to kind of get in here. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more. I'm actually going to put a little bit more in here. So this one, I'm just going to use it. Okay, and then we're going to take just a little bit of this. And you can, if you do too much, don't worry, you can always get it out. It's not a big deal. So like for me, I'm just going to use this to kind of dip in here so I can control how light or dark I want his hands and his eyebrows and all that kind of stuff. So you can see here, and then there's a little spot in here too. And you don't want this too dark. So we're just going to do a little tiny bit in here. And I do have the tiniest paintbrush I could find. So you definitely want to get a super duper tiny paintbrush to get into all of these little crevices and stuff in here. So that's super helpful. Then we're going to get his little paws. And he is a blue heeler, and they are definitely serious about the blue on their blue heeler dog here called Bluey. So, and again, if you get a little much, it's okay, of paint in his tummy, but I'm going to fix that here in a minute, and you're going to see how we do that. So it is not going to be a big mistake like it kind of looks like it's a big mistake right now, but it's not. Okay. So go in before you get as light. I'm going to kind of even out his hands here. And again, I got the tiniest brush I could. Okay. And here, his tummy, there's obviously a lot of room in there. Okay, and so since this is a good thing, we can just take some out for this and just start putting it on his body. And this one, we're just going to kind of thin out that paint here, right? So, and we're going to make it a little bit darker here. I'm just going to so this is, you know, just when you go and do this stuff, you just kind of work with the paints that they give you here. And they give us the sky blue. So we're just going to kind of work with the sky blue here. Since I don't need as much here, I'm just going to go ahead and put it here. I'm going to get the body. I'm going to go and be pretty generous with that. And like his paws. Bit more. We've got a little area up here at the top to do too. And if you want to do like what you can do too, if you want, you can always put like a good glob of the paint on another surface and then just kind of, you know, do as you feel comfortable. You know, dab it in there and then spread it around your window catcher that way. And just make it a whole lot darker. It just depends on what you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish some of this excess paint on my brush and put it on his Bluey's arm over here. Okay, so then before we rinse out our brush, I'm going to show you what I mean here about you can use this if you want as kind of like a marker paint. So this is what I'm going to show you. You got to be very careful though, so you might want to have a grown-up help you and just do this, see, and you can go in once you get all the, this is for like kind of the bigger areas, and let your brush do the you know, the finer areas, but when you have the bigger areas like this, go in very gently with this kind of marker paint pen. I don't know what you want to call it. And then we'll do this area here. And then once you're done, you can always use your brush, your paint brush, to kind of smooth out the areas here. Okay, and make them all look a lot more even. So, since we're, man, I forgot his arm. I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, and then we'll do a little bit here, a little bit extra on here. Then you can take that. What you can do is this: you take your brush. And you just kind of smudge in. You move the paint. Okay, the darker shaded paint. We did a lot more here than on his, because there is no lighter blue for his paws and eyebrows and stuff. So we're just going to work with what we've got here. And we're just going to kind of take the here and we're just going to move it around. That's all we're going to do. That is all we're going to do. And that's all you need to do. You let the paint do your work for you. And if it has a little bit extra, what you can do, teeny tiny dot there. And then that should kind of help fill in that space. And I'm going to move some of that over here. Now, some of these finer parts that's supposed to have almost a white, we're just doing the best that we can because the kit did not come with a light blue. Okay, so this is the lightest blue that you've got. This is your dark blue, and this is what you've got to work with. So you just kind of have to be a little flexible, and that's why we decided to do, you know, a little bit, just a tiny bit in these parts here. So now that we're done with all the light blue for Bluey, we're going to go ahead and rinse our brush. And again, if you have to go back you know, after you're done and put in a bunch more stuff, you can do that too. Like, you know, put in some more of the sky blue. You can do that. But this way, you know, we're already just on our way here to getting the rest of Bluey done. Okay. So let's see here. Let's start with the darker blue spot. Okay, we'll do that next. So I'm going to kind of shake my paint a little bit here, my window paint here. Okay. And we're going to just start with this part because it's kind of like a bigger part. I'm just going to put in a little bit in here, and I think that should help. And this is, again, not as dark as it appears, you know, on his Bluey's TV show. But it still works, and we're going to need a little bit up in there, right? So I'm just going to, again, my brush, I'm just going to smooth it out, move it around to right where we want it. And if you have to do more with Bluey, that's totally fine. You do more with Bluey. That's fine. I'm going to get right in here. And this one will give us a little bit of variety of color there too. And that's kind of what you're going to be doing. You're going to sort of have to, because there's so many fine lines with Bluey, you just kind of have to do a little bit and move around. And then move the paint around, and then do a little bit more, and then move the paint around a little bit more. Okay, because that's what we're going to have to do up here too. But don't worry if I'm taking from the bigger areas, because you can always, you know, do a generous amount back in here. So don't worry about all of that. And now the blue heeler Bluey is starting to kind of come together. And again, we're just going to get the paint in here, and we can always add a little bit more. It's not a big deal. So here we go. Extra drops for extra paint. And again, see how much you can add, and you still have plenty to put up here, but it's not overflowing into all the other areas. And if you wanted to on Bluey as well, if you're kind of scared about getting the lighter sky blue on his paws and stuff, you can always just leave that in his eyebrows. You can always just leave that blank if you're not comfortable, you know, moving that around. It's totally up to you. It's just however you want to do it. Okay, so I think that that's it for all of the dark blue parts of Bluey. Okay, so we are now, oh, whoops, I gotta get the spots on his back here. So what we're gonna do is, we'll start here with this, since it's, you know, we've got a lot of blue right there, and I'm just gonna fill those in. And again, what am I gonna do if I need some more blue up here? I'm just going to do a little squirt, or you can move it around. It's up to you how thick you want it, or not. It's totally up to you. So, okay. So we are done with this part. I'm going to rinse my brush. Rinse my brush here. And then we're going to go for kind of this, you see this like, you know, orange top, and then sort of this light yellow or beige sort of blue, you know. So that's beige sort of yellow here color. I don't know what you want to call it. Beige, light yellow. That's going to be our final color. And there we go. Kind of get off some of the smudges with Bluey here. Kind of clean it up before it dries. And you want to do it with it's a little dry, but not too much dry. Okay. So then we're going to go here. And this one's going to be a little tricky, so we're going to use the nose area here. We're going to use that for our bigger area to kind of take stuff from. Okay, so we're just going to put our stuff here. Okay, and then go here and do what we've been doing, which is spread this around with a handy dandy brush. Then we're going to go right up here, his ears. Then we're going to get the insides of his ears too. Now, this is going to be a little trickier because there is just a tiny little bit there. So you do want to be very careful and just do a little tiny dab on your brush and then go from there. Okay, and again, you can go when you're done. You can go and kind of get all that excess off if you have to. It's not the end of the world there. I'm gonna go ahead and put just a little bit here to kind of make this paint just a little bit thicker. And it shouldn't be, just gonna put it around a little bit. Shouldn't need too much for that. Little dots here and little dabs there will go a long way with this paint. So this is definitely a thicker paint. Than some window paints. Okay, so I'm gonna clean my brush because we're done with this part. Now we've got one more area to do. One more small area. Can you guys guess what that is? That's right, his tongue. We forgot all about that earlier. But don't worry, we have a red paint that came in the kit, and we are going to use that for Bluey here for his tongue. So now I'm going to use a different brush. I think I'm going to use this one. So this is since a tiny area. I'm just going to go here and just going to put a tiny bit on the brush. And you might want to have an adult help you with this one, because you do need just a teeny bit. So what we're going to do is just go in here and do a tiny bit with Bluey. And that's going to be about it. And again, if you want, you can just put it directly from the window paint, but I would not recommend that for some of these super tiny areas. So I think that's about does it with Bluey. And again, we use the lighter blue on his paws and his around his mouth and his eyebrows, but you can just choose to leave that blank if you want, like just to leave that clear, because I don't have the light blue in there. So you guys can just kind of do that whichever way you want. Is however much you want to window paint. Do your window art. That is all up to you all. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush because we're done. There's obviously no other red parts on Bluey. And then they gave us in this kit too that we just showed you at the beginning of the video. It's really neat. This kit comes with, you get your hook, your suction cup with a little hook on it so you can hang Bluey when he's all dry, and or you've got string. So you can rotate out all of your little window art. You can put them on string and this handy dandy hook here, okay, and suction cup. So that's really nice. So you can choose to do it whichever way you want. But that also comes in the kit, so you don't have to provide that yourself. So anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed Bluey here. Something different, little Bluey window art here. So, and again, if you want, you just go behind and wait. You can get a Q-tip later and just kind of clean it up and take away any smudges that you make. So it's not a big deal if you make a mistake, okay? So thanks for joining us today on Haven's Magical Hutch. Like and subscribe. We'll see you guys later.